Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today I am going to be doing another get ready with me, but I'm going to be doing a Q&A. So on my Instagram I asked my friends and followers if they would kindly send me over any questions that I would do for my video, and a couple of my friends got me some really awesome questions, so I will be answering them today. Anything that I use I will mention in the description because it will just take too much time for me to show you and everything. So I'm just gonna do a bit of skin prep while we answer the first question. There's a couple of questions that I've taken from Pinterest, but those are going to be later. So the ones that my friends have asked me I will use first basically. So just to start it off, my friend has asked, how are you doing? So I mentioned in my a while ago I did a video which is my heart to heart kind of update on about how my mental health has been doing, how I've been doing, and honestly it's kind of all the same in the sense of April was a very weird month for me. I lost in March, I lost my job because the company decided to close down the store I was working in, and so I've been kind of not been able to work just for legal reasons. And basically I'm looking forward to starting my new job next week because it's the beginning of May. Oh my god, May is coming around very quickly, and so I'm looking forward to that. Mental health wise I'm doing a bit better. I've been trying to keep myself busy every day, even though most days when I'm at home just sitting on my butt not doing anything, I'm either filming a video, I'm playing games, I'm watching movies that I have wanted to watch for ages or rewatch for ages. So I've been doing things here and there to kind of not go insane, but maybe I'll be feeling much better after next week. Plus I've got an amazing day festival to go to next Saturday, which is Incineration Festival. I've waited 2 years for that. One of my favourite black metal bands, Emperor, are going to be playing, so I'm very excited for that. So thank you so much, Rachel, for your question. My next couple of questions I don't even know how to answer this one. So my friend asked me, is there a scary film, is there a scene from a horror film that you can't watch fully? So I've been thinking about this a lot since she messaged me this yesterday, and to be honest, because I'm such a big horror fan, horror is my favorite genre ever, I'm quite I'm okay to watch anything. Honestly, any weird shit I'd be happy to watch. That's how kind of, no, I'm not messed up, but that's just I will watch anything. But scenes that really kind of get to me are obviously things that affect children, so obviously stuff like that is really horrible. I would always try and turn away. And then I've been thinking about a particular scene. So in the movie Black Swan, the scene when she's picking at her skin, and the scene where she pulls her skin, oh my god, that gets me every time. And I recently watched rewatched, because I absolutely love them, which is Midsummer and Hereditary. Hereditary is one of my favorite movies ever made now. It's honestly just outstanding, and there's just scenes in both of those movies that I just have to turn away. So with Midsummer, of course, it's a scene when the old people are on the hill and they're jumping down. That's it. The second guy, when he lands feet first, oh my god, that just, I literally was sitting there because you know what's happening. And then with Hereditary, I think it has to be the scene when obviously, I'm so sorry, but this is spoilers in case you haven't seen either of these movies. Spoilers. I should have said that beforehand, but anyway, the scene where it's right towards the end when the son has kind of been slowly taken over by the entity, or the King Paimon, and the mum is got the piano cord around her neck and she's severing her neck off. That's just, it's horrible. I absolutely love Toni Collette. I think this is one of her most amazing performances she's ever done, but that scene genuinely makes me scared of her because it's so fucking scary when she just looks so intimidating, so just, she's been possessed obviously, but she just looks fucking scary. So those scenes are particular, and the scene where Charlie dies as well, even though I remember in the cinema when I went to see it, I was watching it and I was like, did I just think what happened? Because I was like, when you hear the thud, I think I must have been distracted, but I completely missed that whole scene when she dies. But yeah, when I watch it now, because I know it's coming, I just can't, I have to like turn my head because it's so sad, because I really loved Charlie as a character, because I genuinely think she's going to be the main character. And then boom, but those two movies are like just outstanding, so those definitely are my answers. So yeah, thank you to my friend for asking me that question. Next I have, what 3 eyeshadow palettes are in my collection that I can't live without? So this is from my other friend Jane. It's so difficult to answer that question as well, because I have so many different palettes that I would use on a different like for a certain situation, if that makes any sense. Most of the palettes I have are ones that I've always wanted to try, but I don't know if there's ones that are like my staple. I think my BH Cosmetics, the pistachio palette and the cherry on top palette, those two are like my absolute like go-to palettes. Maybe the one I'm using today, which is the oh god, I just dropped everything, my VE Cosmetics Grimoire palette. I'll show you that in a moment, but it's so difficult to actually choose, because actually, you know what, I can't pick 3. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be one of those people. I'm like, oh, but this and this and this, because I end up remembering everything that I have in my collection, and I'm like, right, I'm never gonna throw this one away. I'm never gonna throw this one away. But I guess maybe like any of my Beauty Bay palettes, because they're just so damn good. I mean, I have almost all of them, but I guess I wouldn't want to keep maybe all of them. I think ones that have like one of every, like most shades, because I tend to go in and out of like what color stories I want to use most times, so that's a very difficult question. But I would say maybe the Conquer the Queen palette, I think that's what it's called, by P. Louise. I know that's a personal favourite of Jane's as well. There's just, I don't even know, my mind just goes completely blank, and I was thinking about it for ages as to like what palette what I cannot live without, and I couldn't really answer, because I don't think there's a palette that I have which I'm like, this is my baby forever. But I do think my BH Cosmetics ones are probably the most outstanding ones I will keep. And I just think my Grimoire palette, I'll show you guys when I'm using it, just so you can see the colour story to it. So yeah, my next question from Jane is, have I always lived in London? Unfortunately, yes. I grew up in East London, so I live, basically, this is kind of coinciding with another question that she asked me as well. So I grew up in East London, and I basically lived there until I got married, which is when I was like 30, basically, like 31, because girls are not supposed to move out of her house until she's married in my culture. So I did not move until obviously we got married, and then we lived in Housden for a while, and then now we live where we live, and hopefully we won't be living here much longer. But yeah, the other question was, how old was I when I left home? And I'm pretty sure I was only, literally, my brain is so bad, I'm 35 this year, and we've been married almost like 4 years now. So yeah, when I was 31. So my next question, I love this question, what is my favourite food and drink? Well, when it comes to drink, I mean, it'll be like, oh, coffee is my favourite drink, but honestly, I have 1 coffee a day and then I'm sorted. But I have to have at least 1 coffee a day, otherwise I feel like absolute rubbish. If I had to choose another drink, I don't know, like water. No, but I feel like a drink, I mean, bubble tea is probably going to be my favourite thing, because I genuinely could have bubble tea every day. It's just a drink that I would never ever get bored of, and that's with tapioca as well. I guess my drink of choice when it comes to bubble tea is, if you go to a store called T4, they have the brown sugar one, which you can only get after 1 p.m. Have no idea why, but yeah, I absolutely love that one, and it's so sweet. It's so like sugary, it just gives me a nice boost, and especially with the tapioca as well. I love it. And when it comes to food, oh my god. Well, I'm gonna just outright and say pizza I could eat every day. Chinese food, my mum's cooking. I mean, I don't know if I took it for granted when I was living at my mum's basically, but because we used to have Asian food every day, in case you guys don't know, I come from a Pakistani background, so my mum obviously would make curry, chapatis every day that I would eat, and obviously it got a little bit boring after a while, so when I moved out I obviously do not have that every day, but every time I go around and see her, she always makes food for me, which I'm so appreciative of. Like, I have the sweetest mum in the whole world, and she always makes me my favorite. So my favorite curry slash like Asian food is mincemeat with peas, like green peas, which she makes like like no one else can make it her way. I can always know if she's made it or someone else has made it, because she just has that distinct kind of taste to it basically. So yeah, I'm very hungry now. So Jane, thank you for those questions, I really appreciate it. My next question, if I can find out where they are. Okay, these next questions are from my friend Kate. So this one particularly, she says, she goes, do you have a favourite setting spray and powder, because she's struggling to find them. So when it comes to setting spray, my favourite one at the moment is the NYX one. So this is the Plump Finish. Yeah, this is like only came out quite recently. It's only been out for, I'd say, a month or so, but when I got it, I really like it, and it really does help my makeup stay down. The one that everyone loves is obviously the Urban Decay setting spray. I find it okay. It's not like one that I feel like would actually does work on me properly. And is there any other setting sprays? I haven't tried many, in all honesty, and when it comes to setting powder, the one that I use today is like the most affordable one. It's the MUA Makeup Academy Pro Base. So this is a matte powder, so if you want your face to obviously be quite matte like mine, I highly recommend it. It's like £3, amazing. One that I do like loose powder wise, the Juvia's Place one is really nice. You can get it in Superdrug now. I think it's like £10 or £12, maybe less than that. I love it. I do really like that one. I know a lot of, I mean, I haven't tried it, but a lot of people say that the Laura Mercier one is really good. I've not tried it, so I cannot comment. I apologize on that end, but those ones tend to seem to be the best. So I'm just going to quickly prime my lid. Next question she has given me, what is my dream job and why? That's the thing, I'm struggling to find what my dream job would be in like reality anyway. You know, I went to university to do journalism. Haven't used that for literally anything in my life. So well, I have used it in my like previous roles, where I've like written the newsletters and I've done this and that, so I have used it to some degree, but I haven't really used it, and to be honest, I'm not that interested in writing that much anymore. It's gonna sound really like lame, but I wish like one of my dreams job would probably, and it's probably not a good reality either, because when I was young, my dream job was to work in a cinema because I love movies so much. The reality of working in a cinema is not what it is. I did it for like 3.5 years when I was at university. Yeah, I met some amazing like actors, and I got to like shake Johnny Depp's hand, and I got to like speak to so many amazing people, but like the reality of it is not not that amazing. But I guess probably working at like Disneyland, like if you know me, that would just be like the most obvious question, to just be like a cast member, because they just seem like they have the most amazing time working there. But saying that, when it comes to like jobs and careers, you know that the people higher than you are there to make sure that you're just doing your job and that you're not there to like piss around and all that stuff. So I guess that's kind of my dream job. I'm just going to quickly show you guys the Grimoire palette, just why this is one of my favorite palettes. So this probably would go in like one of my top 3, just because it's got all the shades that I absolutely love and it works like a dream. So my next question, if you could live anywhere in the world, money being no object, where would I live? I have no idea, but again, my answer would probably be Disneyland. So it's such an obvious question, like a obvious answer for me. But in all honesty, it's just because I haven't traveled the world much, in all honesty. Like I have been on holiday like numerous places, like a couple of places, but have they been places I want to live? Like, not really. I mean, I don't, like, you know, if people who live in London absolutely love it, then that's good for you, but I really don't like living in London as much anymore. It's so like crowded, it's so many people, so many things going on. But I guess that's the same with anywhere in the world. But I am very grateful where I live, and you know, I have income and I have money, and I'm very safe where I am. But I just don't know if like where I would want to live. When I was growing up, I was like, oh, I really want to live in like America, but then so much has happened over the world, and I'm sure that there are parts of America that are absolutely just fantastic to live in, but I really don't know if I would want to live there anymore. I really have no idea. I think living in like the Disneyland castle would probably be like my most obvious answer, just so I know you can't physically live there, but you can stay there. I know like you have to just spend a shit ton of money to like stay there one night, but I honestly would want to live there like no issue. If there was money, if money was no issue, then absolutely I would like live there, because it's just the most, it just seems like a really happy place. And if it's meant to be like the happiest place on earth, then count me in, because I need some of that. So my next question from Kate is when we go, where's it gone? My favorite Mac collaboration. So obviously it's the Sims one. Why wouldn't it be? I'm joking. I was having a look at the different ones online, because I've never really been like a big Mac fan, just because they're not oh my god, I'm dropping everything, just because they are not cruelty free, which is obviously a big issue for me, because I want to use as much makeup as possible that is cruelty free. When I was having a look online, everything just looked like okay, but one that really stood out to me, that I actually remember when it came out, was the Rocky Horror Picture Show collaboration, because I'm a big fan of Rocky Horror basically. I didn't actually pick anything up, because I don't know, was it only an American collaboration, which is a bit strange, because it is essentially like a British movie with some American actors in there as well. But yeah, I think that one, and I really like this Simpsons one, because you had like a collaboration with Marge Simpson, which is pretty funny, because I know that was it Mad Beauty or someone kind of like ripped it off slightly, where they had like Marge Simpson's like eyelashes and all this and that, which looked exactly like the Mac one. So I'm not really sure, but they've come out with so many collaborations that I'm not really that bothered about. Like I know they came out with like Selena, and they came out with like other celebrities, but I'm not like the biggest fan of like celebrity collaborations, because especially when most of them have like passed away, they have no say in it. And that obviously comes from someone who bought one of the Prince eyeshadow palettes from Urban Decay, but I really like Prince, and to be honest, I quite like that palette. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I mean, I enjoyed it, in the sense of I thought it was an okay collaboration. It probably would not have been what he wanted, because Prince probably would not have liked that. I mean, I don't know, I haven't asked him personally, but I don't think like a lot of these collaborations with like celebrities who are dead, like I'm just waiting for someone to go, yeah, this collaboration with like Kurt Cobain, and it's like, please no. I'm sure someone out there would have been like, yeah, that's such a great idea, like obviously not makeup, but like something else. But I'm just like, god, people just any excuse to like make some money. But going to what I was initially talking about, because I trailed off, I apologize. Yeah, I think the Rocky Horror Picture Show is probably like my favorite one out of it, just because the packaging was so damn awesome. I think the collaboration itself, like when looking at the items, weren't like as like outstanding as they probably could have been, but again, I did make the collab, so that's it. I hope that kind of gives a bit of an answer. Do I have any more questions from them? No. So I'm just gonna answer some questions that I found on Pinterest, because why the hell not? I've got a couple more steps to do, so I might as well just answer some questions that I've written down. What is my favorite TV show? So I don't really have a favorite TV show at the moment, just because there really hasn't been anything out that I like have been enjoying, but I have been enjoying Moon Knight. So I'm a big like Marvel fan, and I obviously have Disney Plus for like these reasons of like getting these shows. And I really like Moon Knight comics, because I used to work in a comic shop and I used to read a lot of Moon Knight, especially like one of the newer well, I won't say new, it's been out for I guess a few years, because I left a few years ago, but the one like the new Marvel stories that they had with Moon Knight, which was fantastic. And the fact that they made a TV show, I was a bit like, why would we need it? But you know what, I am really enjoying it, and there's like one episode left, so I think maybe after, when this might go up, it might have already come out, because I don't know when I'm uploading this, but I really have enjoyed that. But my favorite TV show ever is probably one that not many people have heard about, and it's a show called Nip Tuck, which is about these two friends who are plastic surgeons, like in LA basically, and just everything that they kind of like work and their family situations. But every episode is so damn good. For me, it was a show that there was no bad episode. And obviously you've got the same thing with like Breaking Bad and a couple of other stuff as well, but like I was gonna say, oh, Game of Thrones, but absolutely not. They had so many bad episodes towards the end. But when it comes to favorite TV show ever, it has to be Nip Tuck. And so let's put on some eyeliner. So let's answer another question. What is my current hobby? So I mean, doing YouTube is definitely a big hobby for me. I do videos quite frequently, and I guess because I've had so much free time, what I do is I tend to film like multiple videos a day and then just upload whenever I remember that I should post something. And of course, I know less is more, but I really don't have anything else to do. That sounds so lame, but it's so true, because during my time off, I went to a couple of places, but then I'm just like, I know I shouldn't have just stayed like in London, but if I want to go somewhere for the day, I could not think of anywhere. Plus it was like school half term for most of it, and I definitely didn't want to go anywhere when there's just like hundreds of kids everywhere. So I was just like, I'll stay at home, I'm gonna film, because it makes me happy. Wearing makeup and talking makes me happy, even though I'm talking to myself most of the time. Next question, what is my most treasured item? I don't know if I have like a treasured item, but I do have things that are like very dear to me. So I have a scarf from my granddad that my aunt gave me when he passed away, said that I keep very dear to me. Like I basically would wear it throughout the winter because it just reminds me of him. And it's kind of one of the only things that I have from him after he passed, so that is something I treasure quite a lot. And I have a picture of him as well that I keep in my jewelry box, just because yeah, he's my granddad, you know. I only had two of them, and yeah, I keep those very safe. I have a necklace that my obviously now husband gave to me on our first anniversary that we were together. Unfortunately it kind of snapped because it's the like the necklace itself was very thin, and my friend did kindly like fix it for me, but it broke again because I just think the chains were too small. But he did get me a necklace on our first wedding anniversary that I absolutely love, and it's a Swarovski necklace, which I only wear on like really special occasions because I don't want to like do anything to ruin it. Right, I've got, do I have any more questions? No, I think that's it. I'm just gonna put on like a lipstick and then we will be back. So this is my finished look, and those are some questions that I have now answered. Thank you so much to my friends who sent me over some really awesome questions. I really appreciate it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of my look. Let me know what you think of some of my answers, because obviously everyone is very different when it comes to answers. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed the video. If you're not following me on my Instagram, please do, because maybe in the future I will do Instagram chooses my makeup or Instagram does whatever. And yeah, don't forget to follow me on any of my socials, because I'm always active on there. And I hope you guys are doing really, really well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.